Selina.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a topic of implementing this on the use of personal data. So, as a cliche, that we live in a technology era, so that we can access various kind of information every day, and we often feel like we are overhearing by our cell phone, like you are having some conversation with your friends, like talking about some product, and later on you will browse on the advertisements on that product, right? So that is an example of like company using our data to target the product that we are interested in. So like companies use our data a lot, and often they collect any kinds of data that I will mention later on. So they gain lots of profit from these data, but why we as a data provider haven't gained anything. So this is the motivation that I would like to propose the text on the use of personal data. So later on, I will talk about the data use of companies for the current situation first, and then talk about the, the taxes, why we should imposing taxes, and last we will talk about some example of New York State and how they are in introducing the related law. So for the first part of the data usage of company, um, so let's see why company would like to collect our data first. So there are several reasons. First one is learning about their customers. So they will collect their personal data like your ID, your gender, your age. So they will know about their customer their customer more, and to find the target audience. And the second one is better understanding their day-to-day operations. They will collect engagement data, which is a kind of data that look into how customers react to their like business website. So as they collect these engagement data, they can find out the effectiveness of their websites. And the third one is making more informed business decisions. And they will collect like both engagement data and behavior data, like how customers, how much they purchased, their purchasing history, or their product usage. So they collect these data to find out whether their business decision is right, or if there's anything that needs to be improved. And the last one is selling personal information to a third party. Like if you are wondering why you're receiving so much taxes from like asking to invest, or why there's so much loan company like calling you to have like car loan or house loan, that is because of these companies are selling your personal information to other companies. So these are the reasons why companies to collect your personal data. And how they collect data, there's three very simple ways, like direct ask your customers, and sometimes you will fill out some survey, and indirectly tracking customers, like if your phone is turning on the location function, that they are collecting the place that you are currently and there. And the last one is appending other sources. Um, so if they want to like indirectly checking their customers, the the best place is like on social media page. There are so much phone calls or live chats on there, and if they want, they can collect customer service record and to see how their customer interacts with their sales, and also some feedbacks that will show the satisfaction or or when you are being checked, the IP address of your devices will tell them your locations, and also help them to build a personalized profile so as to give you lots of advertisements. Okay, so how they use their customer data, it can divide into four ways. And the first one is improving customer experience. Of course, they would like to sell you more product or more services. So they will analyze customer behavior, reviews, feedbacks, or to know their customers' demand. And the second one is to refine a company's marketing strategy. So they will adjust their marketing strategy, like I just mentioned. And the third one is a, a bit tricky, but you're actually using it. They use your customer data to secure more data. It's just like if you're receiving bank accounts, the the receipt, and you will need to like key in your personal ID first. Then you can access to the list, your bank accounts. So it is a way to secure more data by your data. And the fourth one is transform the data into cash flow. It's just like selling your data to others. So actually, these ways are just telling you that they are gaining profits from these data, right? So let's if we provide so much cash flow for them, why we didn't get anything? So let's see why we should taxing on the data. So some people will see that might think that you can just uh, like asking them for every payment on every transaction of data. But actually, if you we cannot like track their data ownership, so we cannot sell these data. So taxing is a way to provide a welfare for the whole public. So as a statistic shows, there are 2.5 of quadrillion bytes. If you want to know quadrillion, there's 18 zero in quadrillion. And this is how much data generates every day per person. And it is estimated that it costs $1,000 a year for the data a person generates. So doing some calculation, you can see that approximately $1.0958 per trillion bytes. So someone suggests to build a tax rate of $0.2 per quadrillion bytes. It is approximately 18%, but I think it's too high for the price. If the data is the price is correct. So I personally let's suggest 2 to 5% of the tax rate. So and if we can we see these charts, that we can see big technology company are actually have lower taxing burden on other compared to other companies, and the corporate tax revenue for the nation are decreased yearly. So it is possible to tax on the personal data. And for the last part, it is a Senator Andrew Bernardis is actually introducing a law, but it's only in the first phase. So it is suggesting 2% of tax on the use of personal data. And it is estimated to generate hundreds of millions of dollars for annual revenue. And some other countries, like Austria, is also imposing some digital advertisement tax. So few governments are actually doing on this topic. So for the conclusion, so we provide so much data, and we deserve to gain back something. So by imposing tax, we can earn the revenue for the public and putting this revenue to funding for education system or workforce retraining courses. So this is the topic that we still need to working on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think as Selina has shared with us one of the issues right on the frontier of technology and taxation. I think again overall, I think she made a very organized case. I think she tried to discuss again so some current use of data, and she also points out that maybe data taxes can be a new source of tax revenue. All right, so now I think I would like to encourage everyone to ask questions or make comments. Again, so to speak, you just need to turn the mic. So maybe I can still start with the first question. Okay, so maybe Selina, you can try to maybe tell us whether imposing taxes on data use will have some maybe negative impacts on the current businesses. For example, in the freemium business model, I think the reason that many companies offer free service because they're trying to collect your data. So in a way, you're trading your data with free service, right? So if we start imposing taxes on data use, will this maybe somehow reduce the freemium business models?
I think there are some studies shows that if we imposing some tax on the company, they will still do the same thing because the revenue of collecting data is so high that only like 2% or 5% tax is relevantly low, very low for them. So I think they will definitely have some impact on it, but it won't be so quick.
I see. So you mean the impact on businesses will be capped to the minimum?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I think maybe another technical challenge is about how to price data, right? I mean, because to calculate taxes, yeah, I think even though you say maybe they can try to charge 2% of the revenue, but I mean, in theory, I guess maybe everyone's data is in fact priced differently. I mean, for example, maybe data of wealthier consumers, data of consumers who have higher purchasing power, I think it's supposed to be priced higher, right? In a way, that's what I thought.
Um, I think it might be the second step, and if we starting to tax on the data for the first step, let's just treat every data as the same part. We can later on discuss how to separate the different class of data. But I think it requires some technology that cannot be done now to classify the data, because now if you generate data, it is all dumped into the data lake, and you cannot track them out what kind of things. But it might be some issue that have to improve later on. But I think it will be the second step.
Let's see. Yeah, thank you for the explanation. All right, good. So now can we have some other questions or comments? Yes, please.
So just you just mentioned that maybe a scholar suggested that we should tax on the large company for data, and my question is, what is this standard be like? Because large company sounds a little bit ambiguous.
Yeah. It is actually classifying by the yearly revenue of I forget the specific data, but they're classifying these companies by, like, if you earn three like 3,000 billions a year, that you are calling a big company. They are classifying by the revenue. It's not just you are big, so you are big. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Good. Yes, Natasha, please.
Mm, and I've heard the news that in this year or last year, cookies rule was just revised. And do you find any evidence that show the relationship between the changing cookies rule and the tax system on personal data?
I think the cookie thing is more related to the data privacy. There are actually a lot of laws protecting data privacy now, but I think it's still a different system. Now they're emphasizing different things. So these laws or these changes on the cookies are actually letting the company have like require the company to reveal how they will use your data, but they are not actually paying for it. So I think it is still different thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Natasha, for pointing this out. All right, good. So maybe just make a few simple suggestions. Yeah, I think in terms of legalization, maybe you can also maybe check what EU zone has proposed right now, because we know EU zone has been always the leader, right, in terms of protection of private data. So I guess maybe some of the new legal proposal or legislature by the EU countries can be a good source. I think since you mentioned that, so the taxation may target at maybe some huge tech companies. So maybe you can also try to check whether the tech giants like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Have they made any comments? Have they made any responses to the possibility of taxing personal data? Yeah, maybe they also try to justify not taxing on personal data. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, so maybe their responses can also be the kind of argument you can try to counter in your business report. Okay, I think your business report also has a very clear skeleton. So I really look forward to its completion. Right, so let's give Selina a big hand. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have two